will say good day to you this day of your time. How are you all? All right. Thank you. First and foremost, once again, we thank you for the co-creation of this interaction and the allowance of this transmission in this way. We will begin this transmission by reciting the idea of the title 2014, the year of reinvention. We have an opportunity to truly align with the energies of this upcoming orbit, to really apply the tools we have been sharing with you for 30 of your years in clear, precise, concise ways, in powerful ways, and thus then truly allow easier paths of reinventing yourself by clarifying who it is you truly prefer to be and getting in alignment with the accelerated energy. The idea we had discussed previously in your year of 2012 is that we use the analogy that 2012, the winter solstice then, in that sense, was the splitting prism. We likened it to the idea in your imagination of a train station in which many trains were sitting on many tracks side by side, but were going to leave the station. And as they left the station and moved out of the station on their tracks, that bit by bit the tracks would become farther and farther and farther and farther apart, so that all the trains would be going ultimately in a variety of different directions. This was an analogy for the idea that every single train represents a different reality experience, a different parallel version of Earth. And that as they left the station, the tracks would still be relatively close together, so that it would give you an opportunity. If you were on a train you really decided you didn't prefer to be on, you still could jump off and jump on another train, because they were all still very close together and all still moving very, very slowly. And eventually, as these trains and tracks diverged, you would realize that the parallel reality differences would eventually become so great that it would be more and more and more difficult, more unlikely, shall we say, less probable, that would be able to move from one train to another as the tracks became so far apart. It would be unlikely you would ever find a train and a parallel reality that had nothing to do with the vibration of the train you were on. And that's why it was so important to make sure that you were on the train you really preferred to be on, so that you could remain on that train and experience the parallel reality version of Earth you really, truly preferred, that was in highest alignment with your highest excitement. Thus then, continuing that understanding, that analogy, we will now say that in your year of 2013, obviously the tracks are getting a little bit farther apart. The trains are moving just a little bit faster. You could liken the idea to what you might call a casual walk. So you can still get off the train. You can still walk alongside the train, and it is still very easy for you to get on the train you truly prefer to be on. 2014 will see a little bit of an acceleration. As the energy progresses, as the energy accelerates, and as the tracks widen, you will find that in 2014, in order to match the speed of the train you prefer, you will have to be going at what you might call a brisk walk. In 2015, you may find that you're going to need to jog to keep up with the train. In 2016, you may have to go at a little bit of a slow run. In 2017, you may have to be running pretty briskly. In 2018, you may find that you're going to be sprinting. In 2019, you are going to be at the fastest pace you can maintain. And by 2020, if you're not on that train, you're going to see that train disappearing over the horizon very quickly. So the idea is to get on the train you really prefer to be on now and not wait until the vibration is so far ahead of you of the reality you prefer that it's going to require a great deal of effort, a great deal of struggle, a great deal of pain in order to catch up to that train. Or perhaps even that you will have allowed yourself to not catch up to the train at all. None of this is said in any way, shape, or form to scare you. None of it is said in any way, shape, or form to imply the idea of a negative experience, but just to really let you know that you're the ones who have decided to accelerate things. This is what you've said you prefer. You want things to speed up. You want to experience greater manifestation much sooner of the things you prefer in your reality. And so we give you this analogy so that you can understand how to pace yourself. and to be on the train, to be in the parallel reality vibration, to be in the state of being, to act on your excitement sooner than later. Because again, if you truly prefer acceleration, then you can understand that certain groups in the consensus are going to speed up. And if you want to be part of the group that's speeding up, it's very important to have clarity in your definitions now, to really act with conviction and boldness on the things that excite you now, to use all the tools we have shared with you very cleanly and very clearly now, and really move forward in your lives and reinvent yourselves in the way that you prefer to. Along the line of this reinvention idea, many of you have been holding on to certain dreams, certain things you say would excite you, certain things you're passionate about, but you have been holding back. You have been resisting the idea of your natural self. You have been scared or afraid to move forward in certain directions for one reason or another, for one rationalization or another.